Dimensional burst fast flow.
Ain't you fast forward.
Hey. Ripcord cracking in my skull like a cosmic blade. Mind twisting open in a war-born cascade. Thoughts split wide in a dimension mislaid. And I ride the fractures to the fears unmade. I'm a rip-born runner with a boy cut spine. Memories spiraling across a broken timeline. I chase the echoes that were never mine and turn each crack to a new design. Reality shifting like a glitch torn tide. Space folds to move where the shadows hide. I step through chaos with a war-born stride and detonate down from the other side. My mind erupts like a black hole roar. Ripcord boiling to the circuit soar. I crush the fracture that became my lore and burst through worlds for something more.
Core, break the chain, mind detonation through the brain. Tear the space inside your pain. Rise beyond the fractured plane. Crack the wood and spill the light. Cut the worlds and burn and fly. Detonate your fate at night. Ripcord rising out of sight.
Ripping through the ripcord like a warhead thought. Mind detonation hitting harder than the fear I fought. I twist reality in a knot I never bought and blast my will from the chaos raw. Dimensional pressure crawling on my bones. Warp lines humming in electric tones. I crush the fracture where the dark condones and rise unbound from the broken zone. Space-time cracking in a spiral scream. Ripcord bursting like a ruptured dream. I tear through worlds in a blinding beam and flip the void to my extreme. Mind detonation flies like a cosmic flame, shattering shadows that was new my name. I ride the rupture in a fearless frame and shape my fate without their claim. Every warp dimension becomes my stage. Ripcord pulsing with a primal rage. I break the limits like a torn out page and crown myself the Ripborn sage. Ripcord.
Ripcord ignite the tear of mind. Detonation everywhere. Fracture worlds you used to bear. Rise beyond what wasn't fair. Push the edge, split the seam. Warp the night and burn the dream. Detonate your silent scream. Ripcord born in astral gleam. Ripcord born in astral gleam. Ripcord born in astral gleam. Oh, this is the Lardy B's and Nicolay. Yeah. It's all I know. Yeah. Hypermind screaming in my skull like a broken sun. Phase lines cracking as the circuits overrun. Thoughts combust fast with the shadow spun, and I push that collapse till the world's all one. I'm a phase war fighter with a mind untamed. Logic stabbing in the cosmos framed. I crush the overload the past had claimed. To drag new future from the void I named. Synapse translation in a glitch born wave. Phase distortion dragging from the fears I gave. I twist the follow that I used to crave and burn collapse into something brave. Brain phase ruptures in a downward spin. Hyperpulse torn from the dark within. I grab the pressure like a second skin and break the fall till the rise begins. Hypermind, let it break. Phase collapse and shadows quake. Tear the fear for your own sake. Rise from ruins, you awake. Crack the moment, split the strain. Phase collapse but not in vain. Hyper fire in your brain. Burn the dark and cut the chain. Hypermind, let it, yeah. Now I'm ripping through the phases like a meltdown fuse. Hypermind detonating every fear I lose. I flip each fracture till the world's diffused and break the rules I refuse to choose. Phase collapse, roaring in a quantum flare. Mental terrors floating in electric air. A guide down, waiting for the cursor stare and mold the chaos till it fits my lair. Hyperpulse turning in a gravity spin. Logic drifting where the cracks begin. I force the fragments into discipline and twist collapse to the shape I'm in. Mindstorm bowling in a cosmic dive. Phase collapsing to stay alive. I drag the ruins into which I thrive and bend the fall till the light survive. Every collapse I hit becomes my high. Hypermind forging in a blinding light. I crush the shadows that fed my night and rise, ascend, it fades away. Hypermind, let it break. Phase collapse and shadows quake. Tear the fear for your own sake. Rise from ruins, you awake. Crack the moment, split the strain. Phase collapse but not in vain. Hyper fire in your brain. Burn the dark and cut the chain. Hypermind, let it break. Hypermind, let it break. Hypermind, let it break. Body dug, don't tuck a chain. Hypermind, let it break.
Eclipse of lean, cut into my soul like a shadow blade. Like collapsing in the void with my heart beat straight. I drift the darkness in the crossworld fade, but I twist that night till the dawn gets made. I'm a rebirth born fighter with an eclipse marked chest. Half in the shadows, half in cosmic unrest. I break the silence in the dark compressed and climb the void to reclaim my quest. Sunline's trembling in a fractured glow. Eclipse shadows pulling where the dark winds blow. I trace the radiance where it fall below and drag it up until the fractures grow. My pulse cross slow through an eclipse born tide. Dark expressing into every side. I bend the dust till the worlds collide and rise transcendent from the scars I hide.
Rise transcending into light. Rebirth burning through the fight. Cast your shadow out of sight. Break the dark from where you fell. Shine through every dying spell. Rebirth rising from the shell. Eclipse and none you live to tell.
Now I treasure in the darkness like a dawn unleashed. Eclipse line breaking where the shadows cease. I tear through voidscapes like a star released and flare reborn from an endless feast. Radiant pressure bullying in a wild one spin. Transcendent fire tearing through skin. I fuse the darkness with the light within and rewrite fate from the place I've been. Eclipse cracking in a molten roar. Sunlit shards puddle every pore. I break the night like a ruptured door and burst through fear like a meteor core. My soul ignites in a celestial climb. Rebirth pulses through the ruined time. I bend the shadow into something prime and rise beyond what they define.
fun.
Every eclipse I face becomes my flame. Transcend ever roaring through my name. I call rebirth from the cosmic shame. And blaze immortal, never the same. Eclipse the lean, full the night, right transcending into life. Rebirth burning through the fight, cast your shadow out of sight. Break the dark from where you fell, shine through every dying spell. Rebirth rising from the shell, eclipse and then you live to tell.
Psycho spiral spinning in my skull like a ruptured storm. Thoughts collide sideways as the fractures form. My mind breaks loose from the cage I wore, and I twist that chaos till the void takes form. I'm a reachborn fighter with a spiral core, containment shattering across the mental floor. I'll push the meltdown into something more, into the locks on the shadow's door. Brainwaves contour in a frenzied loop, like a pulses whipping in a violent swoop. I ride the menace like a battle troop and flip the dread till the barriers drew. Containment cracking in a jagged slash, spiral pressure clawing from the fear inside. I grasp the panic I used to hide and breach the walls when my worlds collide. Psycho spiral, break the seal, breach the dark you used to feel. Rip the walls you thought were real, take the mind you tried to heal. Twist the pressure through the night, spin the chaos in the light. Breach containment in your fight, rise through spiral, burning bright. Psycho spiral, bright, psycho spiral, bright, psycho spiral, bright, psycho spiral. Now I'm bounding through the spiral like a feral quake. Psycho energy snapping as the tensions break. I ride the breach in the firestorm wake and crush the chaos that the shadows make. Thought trails shredding in a vortex surge, like a ripple flooding in a violent purge. I spin through dreads, my past diverge and breathe new strength from the fears I merge. Ain't seen erupts in the hellborn swing, spiral fracture echoing through everything I pull. The menace like a sharpened ring and crown the breach is the power I bring. My mind ascends in a glitch cut, climb past storms, rising in a fractured rhyme. I bend the break in the warp timeline and rip the void till it's redesigned. Every spiral break becomes my pride, psycho pressure turning as my guide. I breach the systems with the dark complied and rise unleashed, unqualified. Psycho spiral, spin into a higher stage, break the lock and disengage. Shatter silence deep within, twist the madness you've been in. Breach the night and shed the skin, spiral born, begin again.
Neural singularity pulling in my mind like a black hole breath. Thoughts collapsing within the gravity depth. Memory crushed tight in a spiral mesh, but I ride the collapse till it feels refreshed. I'm a mind walk breaker with a clouds spine. Logic bending in the cosmic ground. I form new pathways, the worlds align and carve my break trail through the grand design. Cortex shrinking like a dying star. Neuron niggas floating from afar. I crush that pressure into who we are. Return the collapse to my avatar. My brain implodes in a rift born spin. Singularity sucking all the chaos in. I twist the gravity beneath my skin and bend the void to where I begin.
Falling into one, singularity has begun. Break trail rising while you run. Drag the void into the sun. Crush the shadow, fold the line. Pull the pain into design. Singularity made divine. Break trail born from your decline.
Person, hey, or even faster. Now I'm bursting from the singularity like a warborn flare. Neural gravity snapping as into the air. I shoot through darkness as the void lays bare and carve my trail to the world out there. Mind expanding in a shockwave rise. Send up streaks flooding like electric skies. I break the fields where the darkness lies and burn my echo till the old self dies. Singularity breaking in the starline scream. Neural puzzle weaving in a cosmic stream. I push the fragments with a blazing beam and craft new truth from the shattered dream. Cortex whooping in a godlike turn. Memory shifting in a spiral burn. I break the time with the moves I learned and rise reborn as a fates adjourn. Every rupture sparks the path I chase. Never storms bending in the shape I trace. I punch through chaos in a boundless pace and break trail forward, void replaced.
Break to rising while you run. Drag the void into the sun. Touch the shadow, fold the light. Pull the pain into its tongue. Singularity made begun. Break trail rise on while you run. Crush the shadow, fold the light. Pull the pain into design. Singularity
They me want the girl, Cranial rift throb tearing through my mind like a stubborn break. Thoughts bending sideways in a warping quake. My skull cracks open in a dimension's wake, and I ride that shift to the shadow shake. I'm a rift dog soldier with a cortex flame. Synapse mutating every time they call my name. I test the fissure where the voids became and climb that warp to reclaim my frame. Neural flashes twisting in a spiral glow. Brainwaves floating where the fractures flow. High breaks the rupture in a cosmic throw and warp the fear that I used to know. Cranial circuits trembling in the shifting tide. Rifts forming portals where the worlds collide. I drag those fractures to my weapon side and rise, ascending in the void, born stride. Tap the line, warp the fear you left behind. Ascending, rising through the mind. Break the space you used to find. Shift the edges where you fall. Bend the dark that held you small. Warp ascension through it all. Climb beyond the cranial wall. Now I'm ripping through the rift warp like a lightning seam. Cranial fractures firing in a lucid beam. I claw through worlds like awakened dreaming. Push the warp to the self-extreme. Brainwaves sparking in the chaos flare. Warp lines twisting in an astral snare. I crash through limits that were never fitted. Drag my fate from the fracture there. Brought change channels to the warp won't spin. Dimensions cracking when my fights begin. I grab the tremors very deep within it. Force ascension from the war I win. Yo, rift warp echoes flooding through my skull. Pressure bending where the void is full. I pull the darkness like a gravitational pull and shift my shape till the universe stalls. Separate warp, I break becomes my rise. Cranial fire, tearing thick skies. I'm ascending higher with than something missing. Cross the tear, mind amplified. Yeah, every warp break becomes my rise. Cranial fire tearing through the skies. I ascend higher where the old self dies and cross the tear, mind amplified. Every warp break becomes my rise. Cranial fire tearing through the skies. I ascend higher where the old self dies and cross the tear, mind amplified. Take the line, warp the fear you left behind. Break the space you used to find. Void pulsar crawling in my bloodstream like a shadow tide. Pressure mutating every cell that I used to hide. My heartbeat twists where the darkness tried, and I bend that pulse to the fears denied. I'm a void-born fighter with a phase shift core. Every hit shaping me is something more. I let the mutation rewrite my ward and adapt mid-strike like a moving lore. Abyss heat rising in a pulse so wild. Void light pouring through a frame exile. I take that chaos like a feral child and break old limits to the dark grows mild. My blood reshapes in a vortex spin. Mutation carving every scar within. I fit the pulse like a violin and stretch my form to the world's grow thin. Void pulse twisting, feel the change. Mutation in your body's range. Adapt the fear you rearrange. Void evolves when you exchange. Crack the form beneath your skin. Shift the shape you're standing in. Mutation turning lost to win. Void pulse rises born again. Void pulse rises born. Void pulse rises now. I'm bursting through the pulse like an abyss born flare. Mutation snapping as I tear the air. I change mid-fight with the predator's glare and warp each blow to a new repair. Void twisting in a violent stream. Cells rewriting in a hyper beam. I take the damage that once made me scream and forge new power from the broken seam. My veins mutate in a chromatic war. Void light cracking through the inner floor. I sculpt each wound into something more and push my shape past every war. Adaptive fury in the shadows dance. Void pulse turning into break the dance. Like fighter walking new vital dance. Aspect further than the same tight dance. If the mutation spots to the first new style. Retransform within time and space time. Cut right the form from the once denied. I'm rise, reborn, void amplified. Void pulse twisting, feel the change. Mutation in your body's range. Adapt the fear you rearrange. Void evolves when you exchange. Crack the form beneath your skin. Shift the shape you're standing in. Mutation turning off to win. Void pulse rises born again. Void pulse rises born again.
dimension vein pulsing in my chest like a warped lifeline. Space dripping through my arteries in an astral shine. Reality flickers where the shadows intertwine, and I twist that flow to the past mind. I'm a spiral shift walker with a full cut heart, ripping through dimensions like a tear us apart. I ride the currents where the fractures start and drag new future from a shattered chart. Vein lines bending in a cosmic drift, memories stretching in a spiral shift. I bend direction like the stars I lift and crash through limits to the planes uplift. Dimensional liquid sliding down my spine, warp reflections where the worlds combine. I carve my path in a void design line and push my pulse through the cosmic grind. Yeah.
Dimension veins twist the flow, spiral shift where shadows go. Bend the line you used to know, cut through planes and overflows. Spin the path you couldn't find,
Right.
wrap the cosmos in your mind.
Right.
Spiral shift the fear behind, dimension born redesign.
Now I'm sliding through the dimension veins like a warp-born blaze. Spiral shift hidden in a multi-axis phase. I twist the universe in a fusion haze and step through time in a shadow maze. Space veins covering like a serpentine stream, warp currents running in a cosmic scheme. I fold each realm like a lucid dream and ride the fracture till I reign supreme. Reality stutters in a backward spin, dimension veins tied in from deep within. I carve my route where the storms begin and push the spiral till the worlds grow thin. My pulse spirals in a glitch tone roar, dimension flow ripping at the astral floor. I shape the chaos that they ignored and force new laws through every door. Every shifting plane becomes my stride, veins of space running where I guide. I break the spiral where the shadows hide and rise, ascend and void amplified.
Ins and dings flows the flow, spiral shift where shadows go. Bend the line you used to know, cut through planes and overflows. Spin the path you couldn't find, wrap the cosmos in your mind. Spiral shift the fear behind, dimension born redesign.
Yeah. Eclipse and link cutting through my soul like a shadow blade, like collapsing in the void where my heart be straight. I drift through darkness in a crossworld fade, but I twist that night till the dawn gets made. I'm a rebirth born fighter with an eclipse mark chest, half in the shadows, half in cosmic unrest. I break the silence that the dark compressed and climb the void to reclaim my quest. Sunline's trembling in a fractured glow, eclipse shadows pulling where the dark winds blow. I kiss the radiance very far below and drag it upward till the fractures grow. My pulse cross flows through an eclipse born tide, darkness present into every side. I bend the dust till the worlds collide and rise transcendent from the scars I hide.
We feel the light, pull the night, rise transcendent into light. Rebirth burning through the fight, cast your shadow out of sight.
Break the dark from where you fell, shine through every dying spell. Rebirth rising from the shell, eclipse undone, you live to tell.
Ethan sound, Ethan sound, Ethan sound.
Now I'm shattering the darkness like the dawn unleashed. Eclipse I'm breaking where the shadows cease. I tear through voidscapes like a star release, and flare reborn from the endless feast. Radiant pressure boiling in a wild born spin, transcendent fire tearing through skin. I fuse the darkness with the light within and rewrite fate from the place I've been. Eclipse cracking in a molten roar, sunlit shards pouring through every pore. I break the night like a ruptured door and burst through fear like a meteor core. My soul ignites in a celestial climb, rebirth pulses through the ruined time. Up in the shadow when it's something prime and rise beyond what they define. Every eclipse I face becomes my flame, trends and power over through my name. I call rebirth from the cosmic shame and blaze immortal, never the same.
Reclaims land and the fall, rebirth rising past it all, transcendent when the shadows call. Burn the dust, become the tall.
Light returning through your breath, rise beyond the hand of death. Rebirth crowned in natural death, eclipse destroy you, walk as breath.
Reclaims dark, reclaims dark, reclaims dark.
Hypermind screaming in my skull like a broken sun. Phase lines cracking as the circuits of a run. Thoughts combust fast where the shadows spun, and I push that collapse till the worlds are one. I'm a phase war fighter with a mind untamed, logic scattering the cosmos framed. I crush the overload the past had claimed and drag new future from the void I named. Synapse tremors racing in a glitch born wave, phase destroyed, shaken from the fears I gave. I twist the follow that I used to crave and burn, collapse into something brave. Brain phase ruptures in a downward spin, hyperpulse flowing from the dark within. I grab the pressure like a second skin and break the fall till the rise begins.
Hypermind, let it break, face collapse and shadows quake. Tear the fear for your own sake, rise from ruins you awake. Crack the moments with the strain, face collapse but not in vain. Hyper fire in your brain, burn the dark and cut the chain. Hypermind,
cut the chain. I'm rolling through the phases like a meltdown fuse. Hypermind detonating every fear I lose. I flip each fracture to the world diffuse and break the rules. I refuse to choose. Phase collapse, roaring in a quantum flare. Mental chambers folding in electric air. Gotta break down with a predator staring. Mold the chaos till it fits my layer. Hyperpulses tearing in gravity spin logic. Twisting where the cracks begin. I force the fragments into discipline and twist collapse to the shape I'm in. Mindstorm boiling in a cosmic dive. Phase collapse fighting to stay alive. I drill the ruins into which I thrive and bend the fall till the light survive. Every collapse I hit becomes my height. Hypermind forging in a blinding light. I crush shadows that fed my night and rise ascended. Phase rewrite.
Hypermind, let it break. Face collapse and shadows quake. Tear the fear for your own sake. Rise from ruins, you awake. Crack the moment, spit the strain. Face collapse and not in vain. Hyper fire in your brain. Burn the dark and cut the chain.